the plaque. A company mounts that shiny ISO 9001 badge on their wall, and they seem to dominate their market. But another company spends tens of thousands of dollars to get that exact same certification, and their operations still fall completely apart. Why the difference? Most people assume this certification acts as a universal guarantee. They think that simply holding the badge means every single department, employee, and action within the company is automatically running at peak quality. The rulebook itself shuts down that assumption immediately. Right in the very first section, the standard draws a strict operational boundary. This is Clause 1, also known as the scope, or al-majal in Arabic. It forces a business to draw a literal blueprint. Before a company can do anything else, they have to state exactly where their quality system begins and exactly where it ends. If a company skips this step, they end up paying auditors to evaluate things that have zero impact on their actual product. They burn massive amounts of time and money policing irrelevant departments. Defining the scope prevents that financial waste. It establishes a firm strategic boundary, so a company's operations don't drift into areas that don't matter. When a company defines its scope, it is making two specific operational promises to the market. The first promise is compliance. The organization has to prove it can deliver products that meet both the customer's expectations and all applicable legal and regulatory requirements. The key word is consistently. The standard demands results are repeatable and systematized. Hitting the mark once out of luck doesn't count. This chart shows the second promise, active improvement. The organization must prove it's constantly pushing baseline metrics higher to enhance customer satisfaction. Together, these two rules act as a sorting mechanism. They dictate exactly which internal operations belong inside the quality system and which ones are excluded. An ISO 9001 claim is a legally and operationally binding contract with the customer. It proves you have a system built to deliver on those exact promises. To see how this filtering works in practice, let's look at a high-volume production environment, a commercial water bottling plant. If this factory operates with an undefined scope, things get messy quickly. A misaligned quality team might spend hundreds of hours auditing the HR department's holiday policy or analyzing how often the front lawn gets mowed. The official ISO guidelines require targeted quality objectives. The focus has to be exact. Under a strictly defined scope, resources are funneled exclusively toward the variables that actually affect the final promises. For this factory, that means the purity of the water and the chemical safety of the plastic. It means drilling down into hyper-specific mechanical efficiencies, like ensuring these capping machines seal perfectly every single time to meet strict health regulations. This introduces a critical concept known as justification for non-applicability. If an operation, like the landscaping crew, does not impact the safety of the water or the satisfaction of the customer, the business can legally and officially ignore it within their quality system. Setting strict boundaries protects the factory from wasting time on anything that doesn't make the water safer or the customer happier. Once these exact boundaries are defined, they can't just remain an idea in a manager's head. The standard requires the scope to be permanently maintained as documented information. That document then becomes a daily, active decision-making filter for executive management. The rule is rigid. If a new project, an issue, or an entire department falls outside this documented boundary, it is immediately denied access to the quality team's resources. This precise, ruthless focus stops resource drain. It ensures the standard translates into tangible financial success, rather than turning into expensive administrative paperwork. Clause 1 acts as a strategic compass. It aligns a company's internal operations perfectly with the external demands of the market. But once that compass is set, how does a business ensure every single employee is actually reading the same map? Hit subscribe and follow along for our next video, where we decode how to speak the universal language of quality.